what do these very famous and talented Australians have in common? Julia Gillard, Keith Urban, Sophie Monk, the founding members of AC/DC, and me. Well, we were all born somewhere else and became Australian citizens. Pretty much everyone who's born here is automatically a member of the Australia Club. But if, like me, you became a citizen, you'll have a citizenship certificate, like this. It makes you an official Aussie, with the same rights and responsibilities as any Australian, including voting, paying taxes, and being able to live here permanently. Every year, more than 100,000 people from more than 200 nations are given this important piece of paper. They attend a special ceremony and swear an oath to be loyal to Australia. And for most new citizens, it's something to be proud of. The federal government says it should be an honour that's only given to people who plan to uphold our country's laws and values. So last week, it announced that it wants to make some changes to the way people go about getting citizenship.
There is no more important title in our democracy than Australian citizen. And Australian citizenship, that institution must reflect Australian values.
Back in 2007, then Prime Minister John Howard said something similar about potential new citizens.
An understanding of basic aspects of Australian society, our culture and our values.
So Mr Howard introduced a citizenship test. It's written in English and it's multiple choice, including questions on Australia's history, culture and values, like what do we remember on Anzac Day? And who maintains peace and order?
I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people.
Every 18 to 60-year-old applying for citizenship has to take that test, and they have to be permanent residents here for at least a year to be eligible. Now the government's decided it wants to make the process tougher. Under its new plan, people will have to be permanent residents for 4 years before applying. They'll have to undergo more thorough criminal background checks. Questions will be added to the citizenship test to prove people can speak English fluently. And potential citizens will be asked if they agree with things like respecting women's and kids' rights, and the number of times someone can fail the test and try again soon after will be limited. On top of all that, new citizens will also have to prove they're trying to fit in with society by doing stuff like working, sending their kids to school, and joining community clubs. The government reckons these changes will make sure every new Aussie fits in. But some say there's no reason to change the test or make people wait longer to become citizens. They say a test can't really tell you that much about a person's values anyway, and some reckon a harder language test could exclude people who are still learning English but could still be valued citizens. The government still has to get the changes through Parliament, so we'll have to wait and see whether becoming an Australian becomes a little more complicated.